Single parenting can feel like a solo journey, but it doesn't have to be. Introducing MomFlex app, the ultimate village web app designed just for you. From financial support to community connections, MomFlex app offers a lifeline, helping you navigate parenting with confidence. Find trusted resources, build your support network, and thrive, because every parent deserves a village. Join the movement today. Visit momflex.org to install the app and take the first step toward a stronger, more supported you.
Queen in every way. Dear Queen, you wear your crown with pride, shouldering the world with grace inside. You're a mother, you're a guide, a steady flame, teaching love, strength, never seeking fame. I see the fire that never dies, through sleepless nights and heavy sighs. You rise again, you light the way, turning darkest night into brighter day. You are a queen in every way, more than words could ever say. Working tirelessly, love your creed, sacrificing all for those in need. So take a breath, reclaim your day. You are a queen in every way. The worry in your eyes, the weight you bear, still you show up, always there. Your strength unseen, your courage loud, a warrior walking tall and proud. No crown of gold, but grace you wear, with every hug, with every prayer. And though the world may miss your fight, you're our hero every night. With every step, you pave the road, bearing love's most precious load. So take a breath, reclaim your day. You are a queen in every way.
Welcome back to Beyond the Struggle, Rise and Thrive, the podcast where we embrace resilience, challenge societal norms, and celebrate the journeys of women who are rising through adversity. I'm your host, LaFortune, and today I will be opening up a conversation on the emergence of single motherhood, and more specifically, how men's influence has shaped the public perception and stigma surrounding single mothers. This topic is about so much more than parenting. It reaches into the fabric of history, into the construction of gender roles, and into the way accountability has often been skewed. It's about who gets to control the narrative and how those stories affect not only mothers, but entire families and communities. For decades, mind you, single mothers have been portrayed through a lens that was rarely crafted by them. Media, politics, and cultural traditions have often spotlighted their struggles while overlooking their strength, resilience, and triumphs. But if we look closer, we see a deeper truth. Single motherhood is not a symbol of failure. It's a reflection of courage, of choosing to keep going despite the odds, and of rewriting one's own story in society that too often chooses judgment over compassion. So whether you are a single mother yourself navigating this path, the child of one who has witnessed resilience firsthand, or simply someone seeking to understand how we arrived at the view we hold today, this episode is for you. So, my friends, grab your cup of coffee, tea, or whatever brings you comfort, and settle in. Because together, we are going to unpack not just the stigma, but the history, the cultural way, and the possibilities for a new, more honest narrative. Let's begin, shall we?
Every day's a battle, every step a climb, but we're standing tall, we're building our lives. Through the sleepless nights and the endless fight, we rise, we shine, we hold on tight. We are more than the labels, more than the pain, breaking the cycle, rewriting the game. Stronger together, we lift, we strive. Single parents, we rise and thrive. Beyond the struggle, we rise and thrive. Turning our pain into power, we're alive. We see you, you matter, you're strong inside. Together we shine, we rise, we thrive. Stories of triumph, stories of grace. Single parents with dreams to chase. They said we'd break, they said we'd fall, but look at us now, we're standing tall.
Single motherhood is not new. It's as old as motherhood itself. For as long as families have existed, there have been women raising children on their own, whether by choice, circumstance, or survival. But what has changed over time is the way society perceives and judges single mothers. That perception has shifted drastically across the decades, often in ways that reveal more about societal values than about the mothers themselves. In the early 1900s, single mothers were largely viewed through the lens of shame. They were branded as fallen women, often ostracized by their communities, stripped of societal support, and treated as if their worth began and ended with the presence or absence of a husband. But here's the critical truth that history often overlooks. These women were never alone in the act of conception. A child is not created in isolation. Well, now with, technologies, we can women can have kids by themselves. However, still need a man to create that egg, right? A child is not created in isolation, yet the weight of judgment, ridicule, and moral condemnation fell squarely and almost exclusively on women. Why was the burden of shame placed solely on the women? That's the big question here. The answer is uncomfortable but necessary to confront. It lies in how male-dominated institutions, from the pulpit to the courtroom to the newsroom, controlled the narrative. Religion preached morality through the lens of patriarchy. Government systems wrote laws that penalize women for illegitimizing while excusing male absence. And media, both print and later television, amplified stereotypes that cast women as irresponsible or immoral if they were raising children alone. Fast forward to post-World War II America, and the stigma didn't disappear. It evolved. As men returned from war, the nation doubled down on the idolized nuclear family. Mom, dad, kids, a white picket fence. This picture-perfect image became the gold standard of morality and respectability. Anything outside of that was labeled defiant, broken, unworthy. And at the very center of this cultural policing stood single mothers, painted as cautionary tales rather than human beings navigating complex realities. The tragedy in all of this is that while women were shamed, men were rarely held accountable. Their absence, their choices, their failures to provide or participate were often erased from the narrative. Society found it easier to police women than to confront the imbalance of responsibility between genders. Let's talk about how men's role in shaping the stigma around single motherhood have gone largely unexamined. Historically, men held and still often hold positions of influence in religion, politics, media, and economics. These institutions helped create and perpetuate the idea that a woman raising a child alone was irresponsible, promiscuous, or unfit altogether, even when the father chose to walk away. Let's break it down. A woman gets pregnant, the man leaves. Society blames the woman for being alone. The man, often, there's no consequence. This double standard isn't just unfair, it's damaging. Think about the welfare reform of 1980s and 1900s when politicians used the image of the so-called welfare queen, often depicted as a single black mother, to argue for cuts to societal services. That image wasn't accidental, it was weaponized. And yet, where was the conversation about the fathers who abandoned their responsibilities? That conversation never took place. Let's bring this closer to real life experiences, and let's just take this with celebrities right at this point. Let's talk about Taraji P. Henson, who is an Emmy-nominated actress, has been very open about raising her son alone after her partner was murdered. She moved to LA with a toddler, 700 and a dream. She faced stigma not just as a single mom, but as a black woman daring to succeed in a white-dominated industry. And she did. Her story is a powerful reminder that single motherhood is not a deficit. It's a display of strength. Let's talk about J.K. Rowling. Before she was a billionaire author of Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling was a single mother living on welfare. She once said, "I was as poor as possible to be in a modern Britain without being homeless." She was judged, pitied, and ignored until she succeeded. Then suddenly her story was recast as inspirational. But what about all these other single mothers who never get that chance? Why do we require success to earn respect? I give you time to think about that question, okay? Let's not forget the millions of single mothers who aren't celebrities but are working 2 jobs, going back to school, building small businesses, raising children with love and integrity, all while carrying the weight of judgment from family, community, and society. They are everywhere, and they deserve recognition. Even today, and not so subtle, biases exist and persist. Dating apps, for example, single moms are often asked if they come with a baggage. Workplaces, assumptions are made about availability, reliability, or ambition. Healthcare and education systems, single mothers are scrutinized more closely, judged more harshly. And yet, research consistently shows that children of single mothers can and do thrive, especially when they are supported emotionally and economically. But here's the kicker. The stigma often prevents them from getting that support.
Queen in every way. Dear Queen, You wear your crown with pride, shouldering the world with grace inside. You're a mother, you're a guide, a steady flame, teaching love, strength, never seeking fame. I see the fire that never dies, through sleepless nights and heavy sighs. You rise again, you light the way, turning darkest night into brighter day. You are a queen in every way.
So how do we change this? How do we change this narrative? It starts with accountability, especially from men. Men who father children have a moral and social responsibility to step up, not just privately, but publicly. That means they need to co-parent with respect. They need to start challenging toxic narratives among peers and among themselves. They need to support policies that uplift all families, not just traditional ones. And for the rest of us, it's about unlearning old beliefs, listening to single mothers, amplifying their voices, and advocating for systemic change. Because the truth is, single motherhood is not a moral failing. It's often the result of someone else's irresponsibility. And when society fails to hold men accountable for their roles in creating single-parent homes, it reinforces a cycle of shame and inequality. To the single mothers listening today, you are not less than. You are not broken. You are not alone. You are rising, not just in spite of the struggle, but because of it. Every early morning, every hard decision, every quiet sacrifice, they are all acts of strength. You are holding worlds together, even when it feels like you are falling apart, and that in itself is extraordinary. To everyone else, let's be honest, uplifting single mothers isn't just about offering support. It's about confronting silence. It's about breaking down the walls of stigma. And yes, it's about holding men accountable, not just individually, but culturally, systemically, and emotionally. We cannot claim to champion equity without addressing who gets left with the way and who walks away. I will leave you with a quote from the incredible Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. The problem with gender is that it prescribes how we should be rather than recognizing how we are. So let's start there by truly seeing people, especially single mothers, not as incomplete or burdened, but as powerful, complex, and fully whole. Thank you for joining me today and for being part of this space where truth is honored, voices are amplified, and healing is a collective. If this episode spoke to you, share with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe, leave a review. Your words help others find this message. And always remember, we rise not by climbing over each other, but by lifting one another up. Until next time, keep rising, my friend. Keep thriving. Ciao now.
Queen in every way. Dear Queen, you wear your crown with pride, shouldering the world with grace inside. You're a mother, you're a guide, a steady flame, teaching love, strength, never seeking fame. I see the fire that never dies, through sleepless nights and heavy sighs. You rise again, you light the way, turning darkest night into brighter day. You are a queen in every way, more than words could ever say. Working tirelessly, love your creed, sacrificing all for those in need. So take a breath, reclaim your day. You are a queen in every way. The worry in your eyes, the weight you bear, still you show up, always there. Your strength unseen, your courage loud, a warrior, walking tall and proud. No crown of gold, but grace you wear. With every hug, with every prayer. And though the world may miss your fight, you're our hero every night.